Hello, and welcome to Kloeker's Education Foundation, providing quality content for amazing teachers and students. If you're joining us from a previous lesson or video, welcome back. And if this is your first time, we're glad you're here. This is our World History series, and this lesson is on Ancient Asian Empires. Before we begin, don't forget to check out the link in the description below for a set of free guided notes to go along with this lesson. So let's dive in. There are the development of major religions in ancient Asia, the spread of religious and philosophical traditions, including Hinduism, Buddhism, Confucianism, Daoism and Legalism, and even Judaism, Christianity, and Islam out of Southwest Asia. And religion is often used to support or justify a ruler's authority and power, and we see this in ancient Asia with the mandate of heaven. Religions are, of course, going to spread as a part of cultural diffusion, whether it is through missionaries or through trade, and it's generally going to reinforce a patriarchal social structure. Now, as we begin to transition out of the ancient era and into the more classical era, trade is happening along a network known as the Silk Road. Now, there are multiple roads in the Silk Road, and it also includes the sea routes, which we would not today call a road, but it is a part of that trading network known as the Silk Road, stretching from ancient Rome and ancient Greece across Southwest Asia and into Africa, across ancient Asia, across Persia, India, and China, which will be the focus of today's lesson. Now, they're trading goods, they're trading silver, they're trading marble coming out of Europe, they're trading silk and spices coming out of Asia, and the tradesmen in India, the traders in Arabia and Persia, they're going to be acting as middlemen and getting very wealthy because of this cultural exchange. And this is also how culture is being diffused from one side of the globe to the other, like the spread of Buddhism. The first of our three ancient Asian civilizations is going to be Persia. You can see it on the map, originating out of modern-day Iran. They stretch into India, across Pakistan and Afghanistan, modern-day nations today, and across Mesopotamia into Europe, Thrace, modern-day Bulgaria, Romania, and Greece, which we've spoken about in the Persian Wars, and into ancient Egypt as well. Now, the Persians originating out of modern-day Iran, coming out of Persepolis, they're going to rise under the power and rule of Cyrus the Great. He's going to conquer the Second Babylonian Empire, and he's also going to build a royal road from Susa all the way to Sardis. This is from Susa in Iraq all the way to Sardis in modern-day Turkey, close onto the border of ancient Greece. They're going to use standardized metals and weights when it comes to trade, so that way there is a unified trading system, and they're also going to develop a common currency to use across the empire. Not just known for their economics, they're also known for a religion that's going to develop in ancient Persia known as Zoroastrianism. Now, this is a religion in which people's own choices determine their fate. It's monotheistic, worship of the Ahura Mazda and the sacred writing known as the Avesta. They establish early beliefs in a heaven and a hell and a final judgment based on the life that one lives on earth. And so let's hit our second ancient Asian empires, ancient India. We're going to see the creation and rise of Buddhism in India in 530 BC. Now, there are some core beliefs to Buddhism, such as the Four Noble Truths, that life has inevitable suffering, there's a cause to our suffering, that there's an end to the suffering, and that the end to suffering is contained in the Eightfold Path. Now, these are steps that you go through as an individual through the course of one's life, that the mind, the spiritual, and the body are linked, and this is evident in the martial arts and yoga practices. but a basic belief, to boil down, that society is best when individuals regulate their own behavior for the benefit of all. Now, we do see a caste system develop out of the hierarchical structure of Buddhism, and that's going to still have its toll and role in India to this day. In ancient India, we have the rise of the Mauryan Empire under Chandragupta and Ashoka. Now, this is from about 324 BC to about 332 BC, and they're going to be instrumental rulers in the spread of ancient India, the culture, and the power. Ashoka's policies are focused on religion's tolerantism, which is influenced when he converted to Buddhism. He created a large bureaucracy, and we really see the spread of Buddhism within India during his rule. Now, during the Gupta Empire in 300 AD, this is where we see the rise of Hinduism throughout India, and this is led by Chandragupta I, different than the Chandragupta of the Mauryan Empire. This is the golden age. Literature, astronomy, medicine, mathematics, all of these things are flourishing along with the spread of Hindu culture throughout ancient India. We see scientific achievements such as saying the earth is round, modern numbers, 0, decimals, the value of pi up to 4 places, and even complex medical guides for treatments of diseases, infections, and surgeries, including cosmetic plastic surgeries. Now, this isn't, of course, as advanced as modern day science and medicine with all the silicone that people are having put into their body, like Botox and all the others, but there are ancient plastic surgeries in India for the incredibly wealthy and the royalty. And last but not least in our lesson is going to be ancient China. There are 3 beliefs that come out of China during this time. Confucianism, founded by Confucius, this political, ethical philosophy intended to restore order to society. Daoism, or Tao, the way of humanity and duty. Your duty was to put family and society first. Humanity was to practice the golden rule, treating others how you want to be treated. That we're supposed to show compassion for one another. That we don't need to worry about the meaning of the universe. We just need to use proper human behavior, and that heaven is best followed through in action. And on the complete flip side of the spectrum, you have legalism, which says humans are evil, and we need harsh, impersonal, subjective laws that will correct society and ultimately destroy you because you're an evil person. Compared to showing compassion with others, legalism is quite extreme. Ancient China has several dynasties which come up during this time, such as the Qin, which ruled from about 256 BC to 206 BC, so about 50 years. They are using the legalist ideas to unify China, using a autocratic form of government, a centralized network. They're taking this and applying it to infrastructure like highways and irrigation as well. They're going to be around during the time when the Great Wall of China is built, and because they are trying to have harsh impersonal laws and there is no room for the belief in other philosophies, we will see the mass murder of Confucian scholars under the Qin dynasty. In 206, we see the rise of the Han. They're going to rule from about 206 BC to 220 AD. Okay, this is the time of the Roman Empire's zenith. Is also going to be the time of the Han in ancient China. They're going to be a centralized government as well, very complex bureaucracy with civil service jobs. We'll see the use of paper and the invention of paper under the Han dynasty. They are going to promote Confucius ideas as opposed to legalism, highlighting the reciprocal nature of humanity, that occasionally one must make sacrifices for the good of the group. Filial piety is rooted at the center and is going to be really instilled under the Han dynasty. And this is a virtue. Filial piety is a virtue of respect, of obedience and care for one's parents and elders, which we still see in modern-day China. There's going to be special status given to educators, and historically, they're going to devalue entertainers because they're going to see entertainers as lower because they're not producing anything for society. And again, going back to the reciprocal roots of one must give, that one must make sacrifices for the good of the group, entertainers were not making sacrifices for the good of the group, but educators were putting their whole life in service of the community. Ultimately, the Han Dynasty will fall in 220 AD for very similar reasons to that of the Roman Empire, which you can check out in our series on Rome. We see that there's vast corruption in the government, infighting among the political elites, the empire is expanding and it's hard to manage, there's invasion from nomadic tribes, social inequality, taxes are being put on the lower class, so the tax burden is unbearable. The rich have all the land, the poor have nothing. A decline in traditional values and morals. Health is going down, public decay is going down, urban decay is going down, things are not being fixed once they are broken. People don't have jobs, there's high unemployment, high inflation, the money is losing value and it's becoming practically worthless. And all of these things were contributors when we saw the fall of ancient Rome. That wraps up our lesson. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check us out on Teachers Pay Teachers, YouTube, Rumble, and the Kloeker Education Foundation website. We have a ton of resources there for you as well. You can check out our next lesson on the geography and culture of ancient China, or if you're feeling bold and brave, check out our next unit. Before Columbus touched a ship, the Mayans had math, the Aztecs had armies, and the Incas built a trade network and roads that rivaled Rome. Get ready to rewrite what you thought you knew about the ancient world. Up next is Ancient American Empires. All that and more is just a click away. I'll see you there.